Harder to get and man of the year. It's like a nice plaque.
Yeah, you do. You get a nice like gold looking thing with a little rectangular gold GQ thing. I actually don't know if I ever got it. If they still need to mail it to me. A little bit of an ego boost for sure. Other than that, you don't get too much.
You might have to reunion, but you
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah, exactly. Me, it's gonna be Clooney, I think Leo or whoever. We're all boys now, so yeah.
Lars, Brendan Dominic talked about there's a lot of text change going on with the players.
Yeah.
And he senses a very hungry, motivated bunch. Can you sense this sort of thing?
Yeah, for sure. Throughout our group chats and everything, I think coming off of last year, I think everybody personally and as a team, we're motivated to kind of right that ship and have a bounce back year. And you can tell the energy, even through text, of guys that are excited to get back to Florida. I think everybody is to get back to Florida, hang out with the guys, but then also have a little bit more motivation this year for sure.
Lars, can you describe what it was like for you as close as you got with Yoshi Yamamoto and kind of watch that whole thing unfold with your team interested in him and then just the way it took off from there, and then of course he lands in your backyard with seemingly every other free agent.
Yeah. Not exactly where I wanted him to land, obviously. I thought, he'd look good in some Cardinal red. But watching that unfold was pretty cool. First time I was able to see a free agent like that, kind of go through that. And, he was pretty, open with me and was open in that, a lot of teams were interested and, he was open to that. He had a lot of different stuff. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, the number was the number that he ended up receiving. And that was, I think, higher than most people were expecting it to be. And so, obviously wish him the best, but come opening day, I think it'd be a lot of smiles on us for sure.
Lars, you expressed a lot of discontent over not being as available as you would like to them in 2023 in terms of injuries and staying healthy. What steps did you take over the offseason to ensure the best possible chance of that not happening again this year?
Yeah, started working with a body coach, doing exercises every day, and implementing some different things in my workouts to make sure that I'm moving better, more flexible, more pliable, and more durable. So that's been, along with, I remember saying it last year, I think I stink at baseball, and so I can get better in every aspect of it. But making sure that I'm available to do it is the main thing. So that's been a huge focus of mine this offseason, and kind of investing in my body, making sure that I'm feeling good as close to 100% every single day too, so I can go out and perform and do other things that I'd like to.
Well, when you look at just stats for the last 2 years, first half OPS is way lower than the second half OPS, which is fantastic both years. I know one year you worked with a hitting coach, so there's storylines, but you just describe, like, have you figured out what you're doing in the second half in general, and then you plan on doing it the first half?
Yeah, ideally it would be both halves, that's what we're going for. It's tough to really put your finger on it. I think a lot of it is just the beginning parts of the season, especially being, that was, I guess, the third season in the big leagues for me. You're still like fine tuning yourself. You're still trying to find yourself. And last year was the first year I was up with the team the entire year. And so, kind of being more comfortable in my own skin, I think, hopefully, as we were talking with Katie, that, I'm healthy this year. And I'm able to have that confidence and kind of trust my own ability that, I can do the things that I want to do. So I think that's a big aspect of it, kind of that mental part of it where in the past couple of seasons, it's kind of been, roller coaster, hit rock bottom, do whatever you can to come back. And then obviously, kind of have like a plan. But I think having that maturity and having the years of experience now that kind of understanding the ups and downs of it, that's kind of the, part of the game, part of the career, unfortunately, but just like kind of, I guess, controlling that a little bit better. And I think that'll be kind of the main focus, and that'll help me have success.
From a storyline standpoint, what's the most fun thing, the neatest thing you did overseas this offseason?
It was a busy trip. It wasn't a lot of free time, but Nolan's brother, he was out there with me. Mako, somebody that was with us, with our agency, we were out there. We got to go to Kyoto and do some sightseeing over there. Some fans actually we're taking pictures with him over there, which is pretty funny. We were all in our like, kimono type dress stuff, so that was pretty cool. Being able to go around Tokyo, have some good spots to eat over there was pretty nice too. And then for me, coolest thing was being able to see my family. I hadn't seen my grandparents in over a decade and my cousins for 18 years, and they're now obviously my image or perception over there is a little bit different than it was a year ago, and they're just asking me dumb questions that a cousin wouldn't do. I'm like, you guys are my cousins, like but that was cool just to be able to hang out with your family a little bit, and now they're kind of a little bit proud to be there with my grandparents, which is pretty cool. So that's probably it.
Lars, have you thought about the player you're going to become? I talked to you in Tampa earlier in the season. You were really disappointed with the way the first half went, kind of as we've been mentioned. What do you have expectations of yourself as far as driving the ball and home runs and being the extra base hit guy?
Yeah, that's the goal. It's always been the goal, but I just think now, now more than ever, I just want to get to that point. Kind of help relieve the big guys. Making sure that they don't need to feel like they need to do it all. And, I feel the pressure on myself. I put the pressure on myself to want to be that guy to help them out because Goldie, Nolan, Wilson, they can only do so much. And so, been working with Nolan this offseason. Obviously he's probably the best player of this century to be able to pull a ball in the air successfully at like efficient angles. And so, working with him and listening to him and trying to get better at that, trying to hone that skill in that he's got down so well that that's something that I've been working on this offseason.
What's his headspace like? Coming off the year that he didn't have a year that he wanted, I'm sure he's more obsessed than ever. Probably you get to see it every day. Yeah,
you said it. He's one of those guys, and I compared him to Jordan and Kobe. A couple off seasons ago or spring trainings ago, where he's a worker, man. And he looks good. He's working hard. He's excited. Motivated. Nolan is the scary Nolan, so I'm looking forward to it.
You had time this winter to think about the distance between like the first ship in the airplane parts factory to like literal matinee idol stuff happening. Like, all kidding aside, how crazy is that? You had time to sort of consider what for you that change has been like.
You mean in 2020?
Yeah, where you were in 20 to like I'm not. You weren't at the camp. You were trying to do whatever to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Now, like, if you had that chance to think about what this from that for you?
A little bit, but I still talk to my boss over there a decent amount. We haven't figured out like a date, but I was trying to go lobster fishing with him. Like, and some of my coworkers there, I'm still in contact with. So, they were great, man. Like, I had fun doing that. Similar to baseball, we were just kind of boys hanging out and messing off each other and working. I guess it's. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather be up here and playing baseball and doing this, but those guys are great, man. Like, I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for them either. And so I'm thankful to them and thankful for that, kind of challenge and perception changer, I guess, of my life. But yeah, those are my boys over at North, man. Love those guys.
And Lars, you mentioned that this last year was your first full year being home. This year, Noah's already said that he plans on you being an everyday guy in left field or in the outfield. What's that like as far as just knowing that's what the expectation that they're relying on you for, and how that changed all your approach going to spring training?
It hasn't. That's the first time I've heard that. So it hasn't. Every year, it's you go out, work in the off season, come in, try to be the best version of yourself that you can. I don't think that's ever going to change. And I remember late in the year, I was talking to Nolan, and I was like, man, I'm just so disappointed, like personally and as a team. And he was like, motivation for the off season. And I was like, yeah, like for sure, for me, like as a scrub, you're like, you got a lot of things to work on, like when you're you. And he's like, bro, it never changes. Like every year, you look back and you go, man, I gave up this, I did this, like I can get better, and that's what makes him so great. But that's what I'm chasing, like so. I guess it's mindset never changes. You're always chasing after the ghost, and until I'm able to like sit at that table with, you know, the Goldies and the Nolans of the world, you're never gonna be satisfied. So, yeah, you're chasing that.
Can you describe what that relationship is like a little bit between you and Nolan during the off seasons of pushing one another? What is that like to work with him regularly?
It's awesome. You know, just to see a guy that works that hard and cares that hard or cares that much about the game. You know, I think it goes kind of unnoticed sometimes and unappreciated. The guy he's a psycho for lack of a better term. That's, you know, he lives and breathes baseball, man. Like, and for me, it's inspiring because I'm like, all right, like, you know, I don't have to feel a certain way about wanting to get better or whatever. Like, this guy's always doing that. So, you know, sometimes I take, you know, going back to your question, like I take a step back. I'm like, I get a freaking workout with Nolan Arenado. You know, like that's more so, I guess, the perspective changes for me where, you know, in 2020 I was sanding ducks and screwing stuff together, and then now I'm like, you know, I always joke around that I call Albert so people know that I know who Albert Pujols is. But you know, like that part of it is crazy where I'm like, you know, Nolan's one of my best friends in the whole world. And, you know, in high school, me and my buddies would get in arguments about who's the best third baseman in the game, and I'd always have Nolan that. You know, I'm like, give me the guy that's the best defender in the world and hits 40 every year. And now, you know, that's just my guy. You know, and same with Goldie and all those guys. But being able to see it firsthand, it's an honor that I don't take for granted, for sure.
Lars, have you been able to dream about first 4 games of the season, Chavez Ravine, Shohei's debut with the Dodgers, Yamamoto's debut, what that's going to be like, for that season's going to be like?
I'm just wondering what side of the field Brad's going to be on. If he's going to be on our side or their side. Yeah, no, I have. And, you know, just like when I was in Little League or high school playing football and stuff, you kind of stay up late at night and think about that. Yeah, it's quite frankly been motivating, you know. I know those guys have good relationships with those guys, but they're not going to be wearing our jerseys, so we'll want to be them.
Lars, last year around this time, you're obviously prepping for the WBC, getting ready for that. How does the ramp up for you this year look? Different, I guess, just in what is a more normal spring training?
Yeah, I think, you know, going back to what we were talking with Katie, I think getting the body right, make sure the body's right, you know, before spring training, fine-tuning some stuff, knowing that you're going to have a full spring training. This is going to be my first full spring training I've ever had. So looking forward to that, being able to get those reps, not having to worry about that. So, you know, I guess you could utilize the off-season more to fine-tune some skills, fine-tune your body, do different stuff, where last year I was like, I'm going into spring training, and basically if I had to play game 1 of the season, I could. And, you know, the week or whatever it was that I was in spring training, it was just like, all right, get live AV reps because you're going to go to Japan and get in there. Where this year you kind of have a little bit of that period where your body's 100%, you're feeling good, you're working on things, but you don't have to necessarily press as much because you're going to have that time to adapt to it and, you know, get those reps in spring training that you need.
Lars, you got a hard stop here at 3 o'clock? We need to get you out of here?
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see you at the dinner tonight. I heard in 10 minutes, so.
Okay.
Yeah, one last question.
Are you going to stick with the pepper grinder this year? Or new celebration in 2020?
That's probably the best question we could answer.
If you have one, can you reveal it?
Celebration? No. I'll give a shout out to our boy. The last shout out I gave to him, but Andrew Kisner, who is now with the Texas Rangers, as we all know. But he's the one that started that. He was kind of the celebration guy. So I guess we'll have discussions as a team. You know, we'll have some of the harder questions, and that'll be part of the team this spring training early on. And if we want to bring that back, my vote will be yes. But again, I'm the young scrub. We'll let the old guys kind of figure that one out.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
See you at dinner tonight.